Hi, in this product spotlight, we'll be talking about the features and benefits of the new RockBrawler II tire carrier bumper combination. But the coolest feature is this, one-hand operation. We'll get into more of that later, but let me go over some of the other features and benefits of this tire carrier. One of the most important features on a swing-out spare tire carrier is the actual pivot point. There's a lot of options on the market today. Some are as simple as a half-shell clamp around a metal tube, which is basically metal on metal with maybe a little grease to keep it from rusting or making a lot of noise, to Heim joints, to ball bearing and solid steel. I mean, there's a lot of options, but not all of them are designed for the load that a potentially 42-inch tire will put on this pivot point. So we've gone through the trouble of using basically a trailer spindle that's designed to go tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of miles, and modifying that for use as a pivot point on our bumpers. We use this on the original RockBrawler and on this RockBrawler II. It's a machine piece specifically for this bumper. It has roller tapered bearings, or tapered roller bearings. It's got a grease seal. It's got a weatherproof billet aluminum cap, just like you'd get on your trailer, and designed for, again, 10,000 miles between greasings of service. So that's a lot of revolution. So you figure this may get open several times a day, half a revolution every time. So you'll have no problems with these, and they are serviceable. If you wanted to grease the bearings again, you could grease them, but they are serviceable. But they years and years of life out of this pivot point. But more importantly is that it's a tight, weatherproof, rattle-free, strong pivot point, which is the basis of this bumper. And of course, that pivot point is attached to the strongest geometric shape, the triangle. This triangle is not a tube triangle in this case. It is actually a piece of plate steel that's been cut, laser cut, CNC bent for the maximum strength. You can see that we've got several bends in here to help add the strength, and some gusseting in here to help add the strength. It's designed to not only hold the weight of the tire up to a 40-inch, maybe even a 42-inch tire, but the weight of any accessories you might put on this tire carrier. Another feature you can see here in this shot is the adjustability of the tire carrier mount. Not only will this adjust up or down based on tire size or potential clearance that you want, as far as if you want to raise it up so you don't hit your tire when you drop off ledges, you have that option, or lower it down so you got great visibility. But it also adjusts in and out for different wheel offsets. So just about whatever tire wheel combination you're running, this tire carrier should accommodate it. The construction of this bumper is very similar to the original RockBrawler, but in this case we've taken a receiver tube and put it in the bumper, where the RockBrawler is actually notched out for the factory trailer hitch. The factory hitch actually hangs down probably 3 or 4 inches below the frame, so you gain a lot of departure angle by moving the receiver into the bumper. It adds a lot of rigidity to the bumper also. You'll also notice this tray. This tray is designed to fit a 42-inch tire. Whether or not you ever run a 42, it could take a 42-inch tire and recess it as low as you can possibly get it, and that's mostly designed for visibility out the back window. You'll also notice that it has holes for these backup lights. The holes are kind of universal, so if you had a light you preferred, you could put it in there, or we have these LED backup lights that we offer. Very bright, relatively inexpensive compared to what some of the lights on the market today, so a great way to get a little extra light when you're backing up. The bumper itself is made of 3/16 plate steel that we laser cut here in the shop, and it's all press braked, or all formed in our press brake here in the shop. And the mounting structure on this is pretty rugged. It's got, of course, frame mount, but we also capitalize on the strength of that cross member, and the bottom of this bumper is actually bolted to the cross member also. So a really stout base bumper to mount this tire carrier to. A couple other features that are worth mentioning are some of these facets you see here. There's a few lines on here, and not only do they take away from the boxiness of a lot of the bumpers you see today, they're not just a big square box hanging off the back of your bumper or the back of your Jeep, but they also have some purpose. Like this line here improves the departure angle, so you have kind of a ramp when you drop off a ledge. This line here is pretty important, not only for taking away this big box you have out here, but if you're dropping off a rock, let's say this tire was up on a rock or a ledge and you're dropped off, if this rock is here when you come off and you had the big square bumper, when you hit that, it's kind of bone jarring inside the Jeep. Not only does this increase or decrease the likelihood that you're going to hit it because of the ramp, but if you do hit, let's say here on that rock, it's going to slide off of it as opposed to just stop you. So these little features might make the difference between making a climb or coming off a ledge without jarring your teeth. So little facets make a big difference not only in the appearance but how well this bumper functions. While they're not actually on this bumper, they will be standard on the bumper you buy, and that is the D-ring shackle tabs. Originally they were going to be an option on this bumper, but we decided to include those in every bumper. It seems like that's the most requested option on any bumper we sell. So on this bumper we're including those as a standard part. And our shackle tabs aren't like all other shackle tabs. They're made of 1-inch billet steel. So they're an inch thick, which is about the width of the D-ring, so you don't have your D-rings rattling around. But they're ramp shaped again, you know, the same thing. There's those little things that make all the difference in the world. So having a ramp shaped D-ring mount on here will help you when you're dropping off a ledge. They're very strong, being a 1-inch tab. We've done full 90-degree side pulls on them without any deflection, no damage to the bumper. So again, a lot of thought in every one of these little parts we put on this bumper. What this tire carrier does, it gives you the same great functionality you got when you bought the Jeep. In other words, when you open your tailgate, the spare tire goes with it. But what this does differently though is takes the load of this spare tire and transfers it to the frame as opposed to the tailgate and the tub. This allows you to run a bigger spare tire without worry of damage to your existing tailgate. One of our biggest engineering challenges on this tire carrier was how do you get the tailgate and the tire carrier that swing from two different pivot points to not only swing together but close together tightly. Let me show you how we did that. We've accomplished this with a couple of pretty ingenious components you can probably see here. The first is the tie rod component at the bottom. That's what attaches the two pieces together. The tailgate and the tire carrier are held together with this tie rod system. And the tie rod system is designed for years of trouble-free service with two FK rod ends and a billet aluminum turnbuckle. So the turnbuckle allows you to fine-tune this so it fits your Jeep perfectly. You'll also see these two triangle systems here. These triangles close into each other, but more importantly, this triangle closes into this nylon bushing. What that does, when you close the tailgate, it actually compresses a little bit and closes this tailgate tire carrier assembly tightly. So you'll have years of trouble-free, rattle-free service because of the design that we put into this tailgate system. This tire carrier also comes with a license plate relocation mount. You don't have to use this with this bumper because there's no latch mechanism on that side, but we recommend it. You know, the factory license plate kind of sticks out beyond the body and is real susceptible to trail damage. So if you don't want to use it, you can keep it in the factory location. If you've already damaged your plate in your mounting location, you can actually move it up to a spare tire like you see we've done here. The other feature that we didn't mention was this gusset. You know, the gusset not only adds a lot of strength, but we just couldn't leave it alone. We had to put some lightning holes in it. In this case, the lightning holes are in the shape of a spider web, so it wouldn't be a Poison Spyder part if it didn't have a spider or a spider web in it. So that's one of the features that I think I had to have in this bumper. So in summary, you get a single action spare tire carrier that opens with your tailgate but takes the load of the tire off the body and puts it to the strongest pivot point on the market and transfers that load to your frame. It's got an integrated hitch that is actually tucked up higher than the factory hitch. It's got a lot of pretty cool facets that not only are functional but very aesthetically pleasing, and LED backup lights. So all in all, it's probably the most highly featured tire carrier bumper combination on the market today, probably the best working one that I've seen yet.